All right, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. I don't even know what time it is for everyone because I'm in Las Vegas. Marcel's in Amsterdam, and Alex is also in Las Vegas, not in Toronto. But we're here. Me and Alex we saw UFC 290 last night, guys. We're going to recap it. The MMAOB Daily Podcast for Sunday, July 9th. And man, amazing card, guys. Like maybe one of the best of all time. I mean, definitely one of the best of all time, I think. And what better guys to talk about this with than you two? Alex, I watched like most of the card with you, man. It was fucking unbelievable. Such a great experience, man. Getting to meet you finally and watching the card, Marcel. You weren't there, man. You were missed, Marcel. You were missed. We want you to come next year. You better come. We're gonna make sure you come over. But let's get into it, boys. I mean, there's Alex. First of all, I've been here since Friday, 2 days. I did so much already, Alex. I've met so many people. I've had such a great time, guys. It's been like such an amazing 2 days. Like, and then we top it off with this like, incredible fucking card. So I say let's just get into it, guys. There's so much to talk about from this card, and if you guys are down, I say we just get into it. So let's start with main event, everyone. Alexander Volkanovski finishes Yair Rodriguez third round TKO, ground and pound. Just another flawless performance by Volk. There's so many storylines from this card. I feel like this fight almost is flying under the radar because there's so many other big storylines, right? I'll start with you, Alex. We watched the fight together, man. Just, like, you think he's the best pound for pound fighter in the world right now? Like, where do you rank him?
I mean, it's hard not to say him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's obviously Jones is the best fighter of all time, right? But like, he's only fought once in the last couple of years, and he made quick work of Cyril Gahn. So like, it's it, it's really semantics, right? It's like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer someone that's been active and just beating everybody, or do you prefer someone who's the best of all time who's still fighting? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's hard not to argue Alexander Volkanovski is the best pound for pound fighter on the planet right now. And last night he just, I mean, made it look easy, dude. It was another flawless performance. I honestly thought Yair was going to give him at least a fight. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it was really not. It wasn't competitive at all.
yeah. No, I agree. Marcel, your thoughts on the main event, man? You're on mute. You're on mute, Marcel. There you go.
That's normally a great thing if I'm mute. But yeah, I mean, I think Volkanovski looked really good, dude. Um, he knows how to fight. He knows how to win against these people. You know what I mean? First round, mixed in the wrestling. Pretty much controlled him on the ground at the later stage of the first round, and Jair couldn't go away. Second round, pretty much the same thing. Third round, I had the feeling that Jair could let a little bit more go. He tagged Volkanovski a little bit, not a lot. The Volkanovski had not really a problem with it, but and then we had that clash of heads, and that was pretty significant, man, because
Yeah,
that was pretty hard. And you saw Jair kind of buckle. He got that on his chin. Um, yeah, from that moment, I don't say it has anything to do with TKO, by the way. But that moment, Volk took over again. He tagged him and he finished it. And that's the thing with Volk, man. If he tags you, he finishes you. And that's a big thing, I think. Um, yeah, another good performance, man, against Volkanovski. And I don't think like the thing is with Jair. Jair is always dangerous because he has that one punch, one flashy knockout, always there. You know what I mean? But overall, Volkanovski just a more complete fighter, in my opinion, more all round. Uh, Listen, man, it took me a long time to step on the Volkanovski bandwagon. I tell you honestly, I remember I picked against him against Jeremy Kennedy. I picked against him against Chad Mendes. I picked against him against Jose Aldo. I picked against him against Max Holloway the first fight. And then after that, I finally was like, I'm an idiot, So, yeah, I mean, Volk is great. And, yeah, great
yeah,
win. Looking forward what's next for him. I think he can do the rematch with Islam. He can
yeah.
fight the winner of Gaethje Poirier, or he can do Tapuria if the UFC wants to keep him a featherweight. Because dude is so good.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, those are the two options really. Like move back up to lightweight and fight Islam again, which I think makes sense because Oliveira just said he's like he needs more time. If they're dead set on putting Islam in Abu Dhabi and Volk can do it, makes sense. But apparently he injured himself last night at the shoulder. I want to say Alex was that what it was shoulder. Can't
He
remember.
said he could make it back in
Yeah, we'll
October.
see.
Yeah. He has to get like it scoped basically, but he said that he'll be back in October.
That makes sense then, right?
Okay. This is just me. I want to see him keep stacking wins
Yeah.
in the featherweight
Yeah.
division,
Me too.
just so that he can claim that featherweight GOAT status, right? I mean, he's right there. He's. I mean,
I think honestly, guys, I'll say it right now. I think he's there. I think he's surpassed Aldo at this point. I know that's going to be controversial because Aldo has all the title defenses, but I just feel like what Volk has done in the division. I think he's 13-0 now as a featherweight, right? In the UFC. That's fucking good, man. You beat
Uh,
Aldo head to head. I know it was a diminished Aldo. You still beat him, Marcel, and he
uh,
beat Matt 3 times.
I
Right?
wanted to say I don't think it's controversial. I,
I think so. Okay.
No, I don't think it's controversial. I feel like if somebody can claim GOAT status in featherweight, then it's not Aldo, it should be Volkanovski,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I won't have a problem with it. Listen, man, if you say Volkanovski is bigger for me than Aldo is, I won't judge you on it. I mean, he did great. You cannot deny him, in my opinion. For me, still Aldo above him, but I understand. Listen, if you ask me who's the better fighter, Volk. If you ask me who has the greater legacy, it's still Aldo. But Volk is super close, and if you say I have Volk above Aldo, I'm absolutely not going to say like that's not possible. I think it's one of the two.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. Right, Alex.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just true. But I was gonna say, with Islam, I want to see him fight other lightweights. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just do. Like he had his first title defense against Volkanovski. It was a close fight. It was a great fight. Obviously, everyone would like to see it again, but like it's I would rather see Islam fight another lightweight.
Yeah. No, it's totally fair. I mean,
And start his reign.
I'm
yeah.
fully with Alex here because I feel like if Islam is going to fight Volk again and say he wins, people keep saying he never fought somebody in the top 5 at lightweight. So yeah, I really want to see, besides Oliveira, obviously. So I really want to see what Alex says. I'm with him that I want to see Makachev actually create his own legacy in the division. Actually, So I'm fully with that. Yeah.
No, I totally understand. Okay, let me get some comments, guys. We haven't had any comments yet. Here we go. So read them. Glenn's here. Of course, Glenn, you're always here, man. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. Anton, what's up? He says, one of the greatest cards. Yeah, I was going to ask you guys. That was, actually, I should have asked this way at the beginning, but like, I think honestly it was one of the best cards of all time. I really do. Like, for me, it's top 5. Like, if not the greatest card, like it really is. I mean, I was there. Alex had such a great time hanging out. But like, you look at the card, you look at the quality of the finishes, you look at the names on the card. This is easily one of the best cards of all time, right? Like, I'll start with you, Alex. We were there. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the best cards of all time. Is it the best card of all time?
That's hard to say. I agree, but it's up there.
mean, like
It's up there.
UFC 205 is so iconic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's, I feel like there's more iconic cards,
Yeah.
and more cards stacked top to bottom. But this one just had it had everything. You know what I'm saying? Like there was finishes, there was upsets, there was the environment, the level of talent. You know what I'm saying? But like, so for sure, it's one of the best cards of all time. It's probably the best card of the year so far, obviously. But I'm not ready to say it's the best card.
Yeah, it's obviously recency bias, but like I just think it's up there. What do you think, Marcel? Like, you're a historian of the sport.
Man, I'm always a bitch with grades because I always like many people always like, oh, this is an 8 or a 9, and I'm like, let's put it at a 6.5 or a 7, because we're not going to go too crazy. But this one, every single fight was fun to watch, even the maybe less attractive fights you were like on this card. That would have been great fights on other cards. You know what I mean? Every single fight I enjoyed to watch. I wasn't bored one time. I was fully awake, and it was like 8 a.m. over here. So it was an amazing card. I give it a 9.5, dude. That's how good I think this card was. It was from top to bottom, like Alex says. You had quick finishes. You had upsets. 2 great title fights. Definitely the co-main event with absolute banger. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I mean, this was an amazing card, and I mean, I think every single MMA fan, journalist, whoever was there, whoever watched the card has enjoyed himself,
Dude, I'm so lucky. Like, I got to be there. So, like, this is the first event I've been to since UFC 245, Covington and Houston. That's the first. Alex, I haven't been in that long, so 4 years. It's COVID, right? There's been only one event in Canada the whole time in Vancouver, which I didn't go to last month. First one I've covered since the one in Toronto, Holloway and Ortega. That's how long I've been to a card. And Marcel, I go back to this one. Are you kidding me? Like, so many amazing people like this week, Marcel. Like, it's been a dream week for you guys. It's only been 2 days. It's been a dream week. Let's get some more comments. We got Clayton says best card. And yeah, Jack Delamel, that sucks about card. However, I mean, the other guy might save death potentially.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up with Josiah Hero. I mean, I'm glad they caught it, right?
Mm-hmm.
True, what's up, man? He says, couldn't miss Adam's segment. I mean, trust me, like, it was, yeah, I was enjoying the card. Me and Alex had a good time watching it, man. I was up at guys, like, that's the thing. Everyone thinks, like, all the people get media seats right by the cage. Like, there's only a few people that get those seats. Like, really, Alex, you were there with me. Most people were in the tent. I went up top. I was watching from, like, the top, Marcel. I loved it, though. We were dead center, dude. It was fucking awesome. UFC took care of us. Like, it's great, you know. Like, I had such a great time. And again, I got to watch with you, Alex. Like, talk about the fights with a guy that I respect. Like, James came there. We were all watching the fight, sitting there. Marcel, like, next time you got to come, man. That's all I'm going to say. A lot of good friends. Saw a lot of old friends. I saw, you know, people that I'd known working for the UFC back in Canada years ago. Now they're here in Vegas.
Did you catch? Yeah. You also catch up with Marcus, right?
Yeah, of course. Marcus won $16,000, I think, on Pantoja. Nice. He bet $9,000. Alex posted a ticket. Legit. I mean, we had dinner with Marcus, great guy. I was surprised that he was so confident in him with you know, because I wouldn't make the bet, but he won, dude. And let's get in that fight right now. But I just want to read the comments really quick, and we'll get into the Pantoja Moreno fight. Sweet scientist, thank God for me. Yeah, he wants some money from you. Craig, unreal card, man. Jamie, what's up? One of the best part of the year. I agree. Let's see what else we got here. We got Antoine. Just seeing what do you think about Volk and Topuria. Yeah, I mean, Volk and Topuria is a good fight. Like, how do you not fear Volk? Obviously, right? You have to. Even though Topuria looked amazing, Volk's just a step up, man. And yeah, Topuria should be next. Sergio, which list? Octron updates. Is that the list with like the most exciting fighters? He left off some big names. Is that the list with? I can't remember.
I think he had the best featherweights of all time, top 4 or something. And I think he had Max on top. Then he had Connor, and then Aldo, and then Volk or something. Was like a really weird.
Okay, I didn't see it. I mean, that's weird. Volk does not fight Islam. Charles, you cannot do it. And Dustin and Gage, you probably will not do it around that quick. I don't know. Then I mean, Armand, could they do Armand if those guys are all busy? Maybe that could be the fight. You know?
I'd love to see it, but I don't see it happening, man.
No, it's true. All right, that's the last comment. We got Joe here. All right, Joe, what's up, man? Let's get into the co-main event. Alexandre Pantoja, like I mentioned, wins UFC flyweight title. I scored it for Pantoja, man. I had 49-46 for him. I only give a second round to Moreno. I think maybe there's another swing round you can give to him, but like this 49-46 scorecard for Moreno is like one of the worst scores of all time. I'm gonna let you guys get into it. I want to hear what you guys say. I mean, Alex, we watched it together. I'm pretty sure you had Pantoja winning, right?
Yeah, no, I had Pantoja winning. 49-46 Moreno is a criminal fucking card, bro. It is. And I've seen some people defending it, and I'm like, dude, like, get the judges' dicks out of your fucking mouth, bro. Like, dude, like, it's annoying. Like, bro, like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're just trying to be different. Like, shut up. You don't know what the fuck you're watching. It's like, god damn, bro. Like, fucking Jesus. Go watch the card again tonight, and I bet it's like, dude, get out of here, bro. Like, God.
Oh, fuck, I love Alex.
Marcel, what was your scorecard?
49-46 for Pantoja. I think Moreno took the second round, you know. You could make an argument for the fourth round, you know, for Moreno. Yeah. But in my opinion, it was a lazy scorecard, you know. I mean, it was 2-1 for Pantoja. I think Pantoja did enough to get 3-1. And someone like, let's do it, make it 2-2.
Yeah, no, I know. That's human nature, too, right? To do that. Yeah. Even up and be like, all right, let the fifth side. But, like, how did this guy have the fifth round for Moreno?
It was Ben Cartledge, and I mean, I remember he was a very good judge, dude, a couple of years ago. But he has some cards lately, as I'm like,
what's he moved to Vegas? Right? Like, I think when he was just in Abu Dhabi and stuff. Yeah. And now he's in Vegas now. Like, I understand they got a hard job, but like this scorecard made no sense. Like,
yeah, but let's also like Moreno. I mean, people who scored at 49-46 Moreno or 48-47 Moreno even. I think those are Moreno fans, you know, and I'm a Moreno fan as well. Don't get me wrong. I love Brandon Moreno. I think he's amazing. I think his character is awesome. He's a great champion. He was a great champion. but you got to be, listen, man, if you pull out of you're going to actually to give a scorecard and be honest, be fucking honest, and don't
Yeah.
score. Like, there are some people who are like scoring the fight. There's like, 50-50. Let's see if this guy does a little bit more than that one. Oh, I like that a lot. I scored for him. Not how it works.
Yeah.
Pantoja, in my opinion, Pantoja clearly won 3 rounds, and I had him 4 rounds, So for me, it's 4-1. You can give it 3-2. I have no problem with it. But listen, man, 49-46 Pantoja is a much better scorecard than any scorecard for Moreno, in my opinion,
Yeah, I think both of you guys agree with that. Who's he fight next? Royval, or does he do the fight with Albazi? He's already beaten Royval, I believe, right? So
it's tough. It's tough because the fight with Royval wasn't that competitive. And he finished Royval. And Royval's, I mean, he's picked up some really good wins, right? I would like to see Royval fight for a title. I think it's either between that or they do Amir Albazi versus Pantoja in Abu Dhabi.
If I kind of think that's the fight. Yeah, that's the fight I think makes sense, right?
Yeah, Dana was like, when I don't know who asked it, but was asking about Brandon Royval if he was next, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll see." And he knows that he weigh in as an alternate, And for example, with Colby, he was like, "Yeah, Colby is next," And with Pantoja, I was like, "We'll see." So I'm not sure if Royval gets it.
Marcel, I called this on the podcast a few weeks ago. I'm like, this guy's making, and you said the same thing. He's making a mistake not fighting on this card. He should have fought like Kopp or something. I think Kopp was supposed to be on this card originally, right? Against Figueiredo. Man, imagine that fight was still on this card. Like, this whole card was crazy, and then that fight was supposed to be on it. Anyways, it was great. So yeah, I think we're all in agreement here.
I just don't want to see. I don't want to see Moreno versus Pantoja 4. I don't want to see it right now. Obviously, it'll be a fun. It would be a fun fight. Any fight that Moreno's in is going to be a fun fight. But it's just like, bro, like, have him go knock some wins off, do whatever. Like, it's just like, I'd rather see. I mean, the other name, Figgy, right? Obviously, he's rumored to fight Cruz, but he has a win over Pantoja. He could come back and fight.
Great point.
So my number one choice is Royval. Then I'll go Albazi. Then I go Figgy. Then Moreno. I just want Moreno to go fight somebody else. He'll always be very close to the title picture. I just don't want to see the 4th fight.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right,
by the way, do you also think it's like really like confusing that the UFC? I understand that for one fight was an exhibition fight on the Ultimate Fighter, but they're like promoting it as the rematch. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is like, it's like 2-0. You know what I mean? So it's
kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
I understand the exhibition stuff. It's like, bro, those are fights, bro. Like, they're fucking cage fights, bro. Like, count them.
I'm with you guys. All right, so a couple of comments here. All right, a couple of guys ripping the judges, obviously. Yeah, I know the strike stats do say Moreno struck him, but like it's the quality of the strikes too. Like, Pantoja was hurting him bad, man. Pantoja, all heart, absolutely, his family was there. He did according to the numbers, but again, Glenn, we all know that it's the numbers say one thing, and it's not. I'm not saying the numbers are wrong, but again, significant strike could be much harder, right? I mean, I think he got the harder blows landed.
That's why you have to watch the fights and not and not just look at stats.
And the judges don't have those stats too, right? Yeah, I did see that clean. I did notice that. It was kind of strange as well. We usually have takedowns listed. Yeah, Pantoja, a lot of people just praising him. Wasn't dominant. I don't think it was dominant either, but he definitely won the fight. It wasn't like it wasn't the most dominant 4-1, but I still think he won. Clearly. But it wasn't like Volk beating Yair. Like, that's dominance, obviously, right? Like, that's more dominant. Nice tweet there. Those fight. What did it say? I have no idea, right? Because in the arena, you don't get to see like the tweets or hear the commentary. But that's awesome, though. Man, it was such a great fight, guys. That fight was off the hook. Yeah, no, it wouldn't be the rematch though. True, it'd be the 4th fight. So it's kind of like Izzy and Pereira. They eventually did it, but like Moreno's gonna have to win a fight or two. But who knows? I mean, Pantoja might drop his belt in this next fight. Who knows? I don't know if he's gonna be a dominant champion. He's fucking good though. He's underrated. We underrated him a little bit. I think. I don't know about you, Alex. I picked Moreno by decision. And you know,
I,
it was close,
I,
but
I had Moreno basically all week, and then the last couple of days, I'm like, I started leaning like towards Pantoja. Like, dude, I don't know if enough people put the 2 wins over Moreno. Like, I don't know if they use that enough. You know,
I didn't. I mean, I should have made it. You know, in hindsight, it was the right pick, especially as an underdog. You know. All right, guys, go to the next fight here. I mean, upset alert. Drake is Duplessis knocks out Robert Whitaker. I mean, he looked fucking amazing. Another one that Alex we talked about, like we were talking about it. The odds were way off of this fight. -400 on Rob was pretty nuts. I mean, that was pretty fucking nuts. And I mean, whoever hit Duplessis plus 300 tickets, I mean, congrats, right, guys? I know some of you guys liked him there. I definitely thought he had a chance, but I didn't think he'd be this dominant. I mean, it was pretty dominant, man. Really hurt Rob bad. He either dropped him with like a jab and then finished him. Amazing finish for this guy. Huge win in his career, biggest win in his career. Gets him a title shot. Izzy comes to the ring. I know, Marcel, you're not. I'm going to let you talk about it in a sec. You weren't thrilled with the promotion, but regardless, man, amazing win for Duplessis. Being Whitaker, not only beating but knocking out Whitaker. Holy fuck, guys! This is an amazing win for him. I want to start with you, Marcel, because I know you weren't thrilled with what Izzy did after the fight. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, let's talk about the fight first, man. I think Duplessis did great. You know, I think in the beginning, I think Whitaker did well. You know, got that takedown, but I felt like the longer the round went, it went to Dricus' advantage. You know, and man, Dricus looked good. You know, he really looked good. He's that awkward style. You know, like people are like, but he proved again. You know, and I think gotta give Dricus some more respect. You know. I didn't give him a lot of chance against Whitaker. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's even a video on James Lynch's channel where he asked the fighters who they're going to pick. I think it was 50-0 for Whitaker. You know, so but yeah, all respect to Dricus. The aftermath, yeah, not a big fan of that, to be really honest. You know, I think it looked like the challenger went to the champion and talk shit, you know. And I mean, as a champion, you should be, oh man, you should carry yourself a little bit better, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And I mean, I don't give a shit about the N-word, what he said. You know, I mean, you got to do what you got to do if you think that's good, you know. But I mean, he took away from the moment from Dricus, in my opinion, you know. And hey, it is what it is, you know. Imagine if it was the other way around, people would be going nuts. You know what I mean? Would be absolutely going nuts. But now it's okay. So, I mean, people ask me, who do you think is going to win the fight? Listen, man, I still think Adesanya is the better fighter. I'm not going to lie, you know. But if you ask me, who do I want to win? Who do I want to see win? Listen, man, I think Adesanya has lost a lot of fans, you know, after last night. I don't think he didn't. Listen, the real Adesanya hardcore fans will always back him, for sure, you know. But Dricus got a lot more fans after last night, and not only because of performance, but also because of the aftermath of the interview afterwards, you know. So, and the way he carried himself during that interview after the fight, giving Robert Whitaker so much credit what he did, you know. I mean, yeah, it was amazing. So yeah,
Alex, give me your thoughts.
I can confirm that Dricus got more fans, and that more people are paying attention to him, because everything I wrote about the article I wrote last night is the top story on MMA Mania. The video, all of his interviews on YouTube are skyrocketing. Like, a lot of people are paying attention to him right now, and it's crazy, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Val Woodburn had a better chance of beating Bo Nickel than I did Duplessis beating Whitaker. Honestly, bro, like I thought the odds were warranted. I thought Whitaker was gonna walk through this guy, and boy, was I fucking wrong, man. I don't know, man. And the thing is, like, do you think it's Duplessis getting better and Whitaker, and is it Duplessis getting better, or is it Whitaker finally declining a little bit?
That's the thing, man. It's so hard to say, you know, and you don't want to take anything away from Dricus, you know, to say that. But I kind of had the same feeling, like Whitaker is fading a little bit now, you know. But let's see, you know. I'm like, we shouldn't take it away from Dricus like that, you know. But yeah, I had the same feeling because we have never seen Whitaker being like getting tired in the second round, like he did this time. So yeah, I was surprised as well, dude. Same.
I mean, he's been in a lot of wars, like he's taken some damage, and
Yeah.
yeah, he's still like relatively young, but he's been UFC guys like I think 12 years now, right? So and he's been fighting all the top guys. He got dropped with the jab in this fight. It's a little concerning. Anyways, Duplessis awesome. I mean, I became a big fan of him this week. Just everything you said, Marcel carried himself, the way he knocked out Whitaker, what he did after the fight. Izzy's going to be the favorite, obviously, guys. He's going to be a big favorite, but I'm not going to
Minus
count.
330.
Pardon?
Minus 330 is what I read.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what I thought, like minus 300, minus 400. I'm not going to count Duplessis out, though. I think he can do it. I think he could knock him out. I think it's possible. Yeah, you thought the same with Whitaker, and everyone did, guys.
Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, yeah.
What are you going to say, Alex?
Let me pitch you something. So this isn't my original thought, but like, what do you think of they hold off on Izzy Dreykus, let it build a little bit. They do Izzy for Strickland for Australia, and then they build. Obviously, Izzy will beat Strickland, and then they build for Izzy Duplessis, maybe Africa, or they build it for UFC 300. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that idea?
I don't think it's a bad idea, but I think the fact they already brought him in the cage, it kind of signals that's what they're doing next. Like they don't do that often, so it'd be kind of weird if they all of a sudden gave Strickland the shot. If they didn't do that, Alex, I think that would make sense.
Dana didn't want to do that, right?
Pardon?
Yeah, no, he didn't want to do it, and I guess
who didn't drink us in?
Dana.
No, Dana didn't want to bring Izzy in, but then Izzy basically convinced him.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's happening next. Anyways, it's going to be a good fight, regardless. But yeah, Strickland's an option too. Maybe he could be the thing is they could pay Strickland to be the backup. He'll probably be the backup. That's what I'd imagine. All right, guys.
If he finds his passport.
Yeah, exactly. Next fight here we got Dan Hooker defeats Jalen Turner split decision. Yeah, I was wrong about this one, Marcel. I really thought Jalen Turner would win. I thought Dan Hooker, speaking of damage, I mean he's taking a lot, but man, he looked good in this fight, guys. He really did. He landed great strikes throughout the fight. Nice kicks. Drops Jalen Turner. He had some control time. He looked really good in this fight. I had him winning the fight, Marcel. I had him winning the second and third round. The Adelaide Bird who gave the third round to Turner, that is insane. I think there's an argument maybe for the second round to Turner. I don't know if he won the first round. Giving the third round to him is a crazy scorecard. Marcel, I wasn't with you, so how'd you score the fight?
Yeah, man, I think it was an absolute robbery, dude. I think Turner. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I feel like the first round clear for Turner, third round clear for Hooker. I feel like the second round I went Turner, but then Hooker took over, man, and Hooker basically stole the round and the almost finished Turner there, and yeah, I mean, well done by Hooker. I still think he's kind of a punk, but I mean, I gotta give him a credit for this fight. I mean, super tough. Broke his arm, went through it, and got the win. So I mean, gotta give him credit for it. And that Adelaide Bird scorecard third round for Jalen Turner. I'm like, come on. When I heard 29-28, I think she scored the first two rounds for Turner, right? But she scored the third round for Turner, man. How can you give Turner the third round? Even Turner knew he didn't want the third round. It's like. I don't get it sometimes, man. It's like so stupid. But yeah, good win for Hooker. He needed it. Now he can look above him again, and 2 wins in a row now against a ranked guy, now against Jalen Turner. And Jalen Turner finally loses to an NZAC guy. I mean, it's something
I know,
special.
Right? Jalen's full competitive in these fights. He lost 2 straight split decisions to the top 10 guys. So it's not like he's getting good. But yeah, I mean, it's a stock dropper for Jalen Turner. It's a fight he should have won. But yeah, Dan looked good. Dan's the guy who's always going to be in a fun fight. I mean, this, besides the co-main event, this was the best fight of the night, right? Like overall. So yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, no, man, it's crazy because towards like last week, leading up to it, I was like, I think Turner's probably going to win. But then I started thinking about it, man. Like, I think everyone was writing Hooker off because. One, he turned a lot of fans off with his Islam comments, and also because of his losses. But if you really break down these losses, he went to war with Dustin Poirier, right? Fight of the year. Then he overlooks Chandler, gets knocked out, fights Islam on short notice, and then he fights Arnold Allen, loses Arnold Allen in a weight class he should not have been. So like, it's kind of crazy, like those like he's lost 4 or 5, but like if you really break down those losses, like he's lost to top competition in a couple of those fights he shouldn't have taken, right? So like obviously Jalen Turner is very talented and he's very dangerous, but like I think it was a much closer than we all thought it was going to be.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
You know,
go ahead.
You know what I always say against Adam say about Hooker? Hooker is that guy who can make it competitive with almost everybody and also with the top fighters, but I don't see him as a top fighter. You know what I mean? But he can make it competitive against guys like Poirier, like he did before, you know? But I don't see him at that, how do you guys say that, upper echelon or something? Ooh, that was beautiful said by me. But no, I don't see him like that, you know, but he can make it difficult with a lot of he can make it competitive with a lot of these guys in the top, you know? So that's always kind of been the Hooker, you know? And he's tough. We got to give him, definitely give him that, and he deservedly won this fight. Very well done by him, man.
It's kind of his record in the UFC. I think it's 13 and I mean, or something. It's just good. I mean, he's got a good record. He's a good fighter. All right, opening up the main card. Bo Nickel knocks out Val Woodburn, 38 seconds. By the way, 4 finishes in this card under a minute. UFC record. Yeah, I mean, come on. Everyone was picking Bo Nickel.
I'm pissed, dude.
Why? Because you had him by submission?
Yeah, man. I mean, Val Woodburn barely has a neck like myself, so why would I pick him with by choke? You know,
dude, he's so short too. Like,
yeah, you. I should have went with knockout, you know, and I went with submission. But I mean, listen, man. Alex was at the post-fight presser. Dana said, like, yeah, we're not gonna put him in the top 15 yet. Who the fuck are you gonna give this guy? Because he's going to walk through a lot of these guys outside the top 15. I was like, maybe give him Rodolfo Vieira. You know what I mean? I mean, that would be a great fight, maybe. I mean, he's also technical. And Bo is kind of more of a wrestling kind of guy. Rodolfo is kind of a BJJ, you know? So that would be maybe fun if you don't want to give him somebody in top 15. But, hey, maybe I'm crazy, but why not give him somebody give a fucking Nasruddin Imavov, you know what I mean? But they're probably going to use him for Paris card. But you know what I mean? So why not? I think he beats Nasruddin, for example. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe like a Jack Hermanson kind of a fight. Yeah. Or like if they don't want to give him a top 15 opponent, maybe give him like Eric Anders, someone who's tough, also someone who is a name, you know what I'm saying? Like people know who Eric Anders is, like maybe give him that. But I would like to see him fight a top 15. He's just one of these prospects where like he's just special. He's just one of these special prospects, once in a lifetime athletes, you know, so
exactly, man. And I mean age is not everything, and experience, you know. If you're really that good, why not? You know, if you have listen, what was he was a huge favorite. I think the biggest favorite ever on the UFC card on this one, you know. He's going to be a big favorite against a lot of these guys, you know. And I understand that people are like, he hasn't fought any big name yet. Give him, yeah, I'm actually with Alex, give him fucking Eric Anders. Why not? You know, why not?
Yeah, I mean, and like, yeah, he might only be 5-0 in MMA, but he's one of the best wrestlers of all time. And that really counts for something. It does. I mean, I don't care, you know, you could be 1-0. His wrestling credentials outweigh so much, and that's what's like him. That, you know, it's just that.
Definitely.
I mean, I think he's like one of the best athletes we've probably ever seen in the sport. Like, he's just a natural. I think his first pro fight, he knocked the guy out, and I saw it, and I was like, wow, that was like a year ago. He's only been pro for like a year, right? He's
13 months. Only 13 months.
I don't want to think, like, I'm pretty sure he's going to be fighting for the belt one day, guys, and he might win it. And it's possible. I mean, it's kind of early to say still. Like, here's the thing. I want to see him get punched in the face and see if he can take a shot. Like, but as far as skills go, I mean, we know he's got the elite wrestling, and he's got some power. He got some submissions too. So he's phenomenal. You're gonna say one more thing? Anything else you guys want to say? You want to move on?
I just want to see him like fight. I do want to see him get punched in the face, and I want to see him fight a Dagestani wrestler, someone who has good wrestling.
Let's figure out who's going to fight. Let's go to the list of fighters right now.
I think we just want to see him fight somebody where we think the guy who he fights has a chance against him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like what happens when someone stops his takedown? Yeah. Like that's what I want to see.
All right, here we go. Okay, so someone suggested Nilsson, Ruzaboyev. I don't think they'll do that fight. That guy's so dangerous. Like they'll go separate paths. I think. I mean, it'd be interesting. Just looking at some other guys with like similar records. Bo's 2-0 now. UFC. You got Cedricus Dumas. He's 1-1. Who else we got here? Like I'm just looking at the lower ranked guys. You got Josh Fremd. He's 1-2.
Abus.
The guy he's gonna pick it next. Sorry, Abus.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo. I think it's crazy, right? But I think Bo wins that fight.
Like, that's what I think as well. But
yeah. I mean, maybe they will do it. Maybe they will give him a higher shot up the ladder. Yeah, some other guys like Stefan Chukwi, someone like that, like someone like lower tier. Or maybe they, maybe this weekend there's Duraev and Park, winner of that fight, maybe, right? Like, but those guys have a lot more experience, So, yeah, we'll see what they do. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either way, guys. But yeah, he's special. All right, let's get to the prelims. Someone said Ikram. I think if Ikram wins, guys, he's going to be fighting like Strickland for a title shot, maybe, or something like that, or like Cannonier. Like, right? Ikram beats.
The fight, what it should be is fucking Fluffy versus Bo Nickel. That's the one I
Fluffy fighting Chris Curtis? Is that the fight?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be a great fight. I mean, Fluffy's going to win that fight, I think. All right, let's get to the prelims here. I mean, man, Robbie Lawler's been one of my favorites of all time, guys. And, like, to see him, get this knockover in equal price in 38 seconds and do it, and retire in spectacular fashion, get the walk-off knockout. Like, most MMA careers don't end like this, right? Like, most people lose in their last fight. Most people get knocked out in their last fight and then they end up retiring, right? Because they took too much damage. You don't see guys go out and win too often. But when you do, like, Lawler, like a Chris Lytle, who's one of my all-time favorites, like a GSP, and they go on to win, man, it's just something special. And for Robbie Lawler to go out there, knock out Nico Price, get the win, and retire, and have that great video package they did, so emotional. Man, what a moment. Yeah, I mean, he looked outstanding. I do think it's kind of crazy he doesn't get a bonus. I know Dana said they took care of him, but on paper it looks weird because, I mean, this was a special knockout, a special moment in UFC history. I'll start with you, Alex. You were there as well, man. I mean, goosebumps, right, dude?
I mean, epic. I was cheering up. Robbie's always been one of my favorite fighters. One of the most violent motherfuckers on this planet. And like you said, man, it's very, 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 very rare for an MMA fighter to go out like he did, man. And it's just like bittersweet. I love that the UFC did that for him. And I feel like they should do that more often. But then like someone kind of pushed back and like, what if they lose, right? Like, well, then it's like, well, then maybe you shouldn't match Frankie Edgar up against like Chris Gutierrez, right? Like, what I'm saying? So like the matchups all make sense. But I mean, to be real, like Nico Price definitely could have beat Robbie Lawler, right? I think it's just Robbie Lawler came, his head was on his shoulders, and it's crazy, bro. Like a few years ago, he was on a 4-fight losing streak, beats a washed up Nick Diaz, and then gets finished by Brian Barberena. So it's like, it was crazy, man. And it's just so, I don't know, man. I know I'm rambling, but I just want to know, like, I love that Robbie Lawler went out like that. It's what he deserves, and I think it's probably the best retirement in MMA history, honestly.
It could be, because again, like most guys don't go out like this, and the video package, the tribute, and everything. And when's the last time you see Robbie Lawler cry or shed a tear? I mean, that's never happened before.
Never.
Your thoughts?
Sorry?
Your thoughts on Lawler?
Yeah, I mean, dude, not to say, not to blow my own horn, but I fucking knew it that he was going to win, dude. I fucking knew it, and because Nico is the kind of guy who's going to stand and bang with him, he doesn't give a shit. He wants to go out on the shield all the time, and that he was going to win like this? No, definitely not expected it like that, but man, I mean, if you want to see anyone go out like that, in this retirement fight, is Robbie Lawler, Guy has been one of the most violent guys ever in the sport, and go out like that, that's almost like vintage style, how you want to see him go out, and I mean, this night was already kind of a perfect, great, and this was actually made it even better, the way it went. Nothing against Price, by the way. I love Nico Price as well. I think he's a great guy, and also a perfect partner for Lawler to have his last fight. And because Nico is the kind of guy who's also super kind to his opponent, doesn't talk shit, knows exactly what's happening, knows this is the last fight of Lawler. Wanted to give him a competitive fight. Obviously, didn't happen because Lawler knocked him out. But this was like a perfect farewell for Robbie Lawler, and I just want to thank him, man. I enjoyed so much of his career. We have been witnessing his career like almost like his whole career. That's how much we saw of him, and he also developed, man, from like a young guy into a grown, really good mixed martial artist. And I remember him when he was. When he basically started in the UFC, like with the hair, where he still had, when he knocked out Tiki, when Tiki said it got stopped due to a cut. Great guy. And he said he wants to help the future guys at the Kill Cliff. And I think that's amazing. So, thank you, Robert Lawler.
Yeah, he's the man. Like, I remember when people were writing him off, like, remember when before he fought, like, Adlan Amagov, he had lost to Jacare and King Kennedy. Everyone's like, Robbie Lawler's done. Like, This is 2010, 2011. And then I remember these Adlan Amagov, who was a really good fighter, who retired way too soon. And then comes back to UFC guys, and he looked unbelievable, wins the belt. And then, at the end of his career, had a lot of losses, but again, to lead competition, but still put on some great fights. The last couple of fights he had were awesome, right? Like, this fight, the Barber fight, unbelievable career, unbelievable fighter. So we get some comments, people saying like there's rumors of Nico Price taking a dive. I mean, this is just stupid. Like, he didn't take a dive. He got knocked out.
Nico is not gonna go away from home for so many weeks to train somewhere else, leaving his 5 or 6 kids, and then taking a dive. Come on, nah.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And Alex, I know you think it's
fucking people are so fucking retarded. I swear to God, bro. Like, God, grow up, bro. Grow up. God damn.
Nico's just not that great. He's 1-4-1 draw, no contest his last 6 fights. Like, he's on the decline. He has been for a while, taking a ton of damage. Right? He's been knocked out, I think, 5 times in the UFC now, guys. It's kind of scary. Like, enjoy watching the guy fight, but man, he's been knocked out. Like, if they did him against Jack Della Maddalena, that's another knockout loss. So we'll see what happens there. All right, next fight here. We had Tatsuro Taira wins a pretty competitive fight, right? With Edgar Chavez, more competitive than odds indicate. I mean, I think he won the fight, guys, but I think he watched this Alex 29-28, right? Like, and to be honest, the first round, Chavez dropped him, and he was just a dumbass that pulled guard for the guillotine. If he had stayed on top or something, he would have won that round. He might have won the fight. Go ahead, Marcel.
Dude, the last 10 seconds, I think Taira got lucky that the time was over, I think it was actually 29-27. I think he won a 10-8 round, Taira, at the second round. The first round, dude, got to talk about Herb Dean here, man. He said 6 times to Edgar Chavez, put your toes out of the cage. Put your toes out of the cage. Put your toes out of the cage. Hey, Edgar, put your toes out of the cage. Edgar, put your toes out of the cage. Do something about it. And then Taira is like dropping like elbows, and then he's like, no, 12-6. And Taira is looking at him, what do you mean? And he's like, something like this. And Taira does like, no, not that's like he was coaching. It was super weird, Gotta give Chavez credit, dude. I mean, dude was super tough. It was both short notice, 130, but Taira had a fight last time. He was actually supposed to fight Clayton Rodriguez, right? For Chavez, it was like short notice. He was supposed to be in the Contender Series. For me, he lost the fight, but he showed to me that he belongs. You know what I mean? So I'm happy he got the chance. And good for Taira, man. I really like the guy. And I really want to see him against a ranked opponent next.
Anything else you want to say, Alex?
Yeah, no, for sure. It was nice to see him go another 15 minutes just to kind of prove, and also to prove that he can face that adversity. You know what I'm saying? I asked him if he wants to turn around for Singapore. He said he's down, and I would like to see him fight a top 15 opponent next. But yeah, man, he's awesome, man. He's got a very fun personality. The thing that was kind of weird is like I feel like the boos kind of got to him at first when he was walking out. He was heavily booed, and he was kind of like looking around. I don't know if it got. Obviously, I don't know if it got to him or not, but he kind of did talk about it in the post fight in his post fight interview. Like he was like, I'm not used to it. So yeah, that was just kind of like a little tidbit that I found fascinating.
By the way, can I give this guy with this awesome beard here next to me some extra credits by talking to Dana and saying why not give him more performance bonuses? You know, during
Alex,
brother.
I told Alex this. I messaged him like a month ago when he said this. So Alex, I mean, like you're the one guy with balls to say this, man. Like I like it, but it's like a card like this, guys. A card like this should have had more bonuses. Like I think the kid was 10 million. Is that right? Was it 10 million?
It was like 9 million. It was 9 million. Plus, they probably sold, I don't know, maybe what, 400 pay-per-view or 400,000 pay-per-views. Like, bro, there's no fucking excuse why you can't give all the winners 50K, all the finished to 50K, two fight of the night because Hooker and Jalen Turner deserved fight of the night. Like, bro, like it's even if you go back to your normal way, like this is International Fight Week. It's the biggest fight card of the year. It's the best fight card. It was the best fight card of the year. One of the best fight cards of all time.
Yeah.
Bring out your fucking paychecks, bro. Like you can do it. Bring out your checkbooks and fucking pay these guys. Like,
yeah, no, it's funny, Alex. I remember like UFC. I want to say, God, which one was it, Marcel? 217. Is that the one GSP and Bisping? Is that the card?
Yeah.
Yes, 217. And it was one of the biggest cards of all time. And what was the gate for this? 6.5 million. They sold 1 million pay-per-views, and they split one of the bonuses between OSP and Ricardo Ramos for that spinning elbow. Like they split 25K each. Come on, like for these kind of cards, just open up the wall. So crazy.
Like,
bro, I want to
like,
get this conference call.
Yeah.
I know, Alex. It's frustrating. Cole checking in. Hope you guys had a great week. We did, Alex. Cole. Cole, you got to come up too next year, man. We're gonna grab you and Marcel by the arms and pull you out.
What's up, Cole?
Sure, your Cody website Friday night, then on a boat, UFC 290 Saturday, golf this morning, nothing to complain. Dude, sounds like you had a great weekend. But yeah, Cole, I mean, unbelievable card, man. Anyways, getting back to Tyler, look at what people are saying in the comments. People are saying that he kind of got exposed a bit in the stand-up. Yeah, I mean, he got dropped, right? He got leg kicked, he got dropped. But he's still a good fighter. Again, this was a really short notice opponent for both guys. Like, you always forget that. Yeah, you know, he had been training, he was probably in better shape, but still, like, it's still a new opponent on short notice. So yeah, I'm looking at the rankings, guys. Like David Dvorak's number 15. Like, get this guy a win over him and get him in the rankings. I think he wins that fight. We saw Steven Usyk control him on the ground. Tyler should win that fight. Maybe he submits him. Who knows? That's a comment. Doesn't encourage fighters to fight on big cards when awful cards like next week get the same. I agree. I completely. It's fucked up, right? Like it doesn't make sense that somebody like cards like next week with not much like competition for the bonuses have the same amount of bonuses. Go ahead, Marcel.
How you give that godly punch from Jesus not a 50K bonus?
I think he not did 50K. I mean that knockout was insane. That was insane,
dude. That was 100K bonus fucking knockout, bro. That was a disgusting knockout.
Yeah, Green policy. They said they gave Ian Beer an extra bunch of D-Raw. Is that true? That's interesting. All right, getting back to the fights. Denise Gomes, wow, crazy knock over Yasmin Jauregui. Now we did see Yasmin get dropped in her last fight against Stella Nunes, and I thought she just kind of got caught because obviously she looked great other than that. But, man, I mean, she got blitzed here by Gomez and Gomes. I mean, Gomes 2 straight knockout wins, only 23 years old. Her and her girlfriend, Carol Hosen, man, they're winning a lot of fights, guys. They're winning a lot of fights. Yeah, I mean, 2 straight underdog wins for Denise Gomes. Marcel, what do you think of this knockout, man?
Dude, Evil Gadelia. Yeah, I mean – what the hell, dude? She came out. I listen, man. I'm very high on Jasmine Jauregui, but it scared me last time as well with Estela Nunes the first round, and I was like, if she's going toe to toe with Denise Gomez in the first round, that's super dangerous, And she did, and she got tagged within 10, 12 seconds, and Denise Gomez was like, fuck, I'm not going to give her anything off. I'm going full blast after her. I'm going to try to finish. And she did, man. All credits to her. A great win. I think she was a pretty big underdog in the fight. So, yeah, that's a big win for her, And I think Jauregui was close to getting into the top 15. I think Denise Gomez is now close to getting into the top 15. And actually, if you see, she has now 2 wins from the 3 she fought. And all... the funny thing is, I picked her against Loma. She lost that fight against Loma. And I picked Bruna Brazil, and I picked Jauregui, and she won those 2 fights. So for Gomez, next time I go against her as well, because for her, I think she deserves to get a higher ranked opponent now. I mean, that was really impressive. I'm really high on Jauregui. I keep saying it, and yeah, all credits to Gomez. Really good for her. And yeah, man, Evil Gadelia, she's like, oh man, she's like, how do you say that? Super angry and super intense in the cage, And yeah, it's cool. She did very well.
Yeah.
All credits.
Yeah, no, for sure. Honestly, and it makes you think like, how did she lose to Loma? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That fight was pretty competitive. I think it was short notice too, right? Like,
yeah.
It was somewhat competitive. I know the scores. I'm looking at the ring. We had 2:30-27, but like it was closer than the odds say. I would say if I watched that fight back. But yeah,
I think Loma kind of controlled her a little bit more on the ground, and I think it was short notice for Balbita, who was supposed to fight Loma. I think so.
Yeah, but she's a nice young prospect. She's 23, right? Kicking off the ABC prelims, Alonzo Menifield submits Jimmy Crute. I had Alonzo Menifield as the underdog here. Like, again, I thought he won that first fight, really. And, I just was surprised that everyone was going back to go with Crute. Like, I picked Crute the first time, and he did not look good.
Adam, did you think he was going to submit him?
No, I thought he would knock him out.
Yeah.
This surprised me. Crute's 0-3-1 in his last 4. He hasn't won a fight in almost 3 years.
Did he retire?
I saw him take his gloves off. Me and Alex, I think we're talking about that. I don't know if he ended up actually retiring. Did he? I want to check his Instagram. But
I think he was going to retire, and I think his coaches told him, like, come on, like,
pick your gloves. I mean, it was tougher. It's an embarrassing way to lose. I mean, you're tapping out to a guillotine by a guy that is not known for his submissions, right? Really, with Alonzo. But yeah. Menifield's an underrated fighter, man. I think he's got a 7-3-1 record now in the UFC. It's pretty good, right? So he's a pretty solid fighter, man. I think it was a nice win. No bonus for Menifield either. I mean, I'm not saying he was a better finish than the other guys, but like on a lot of cards, he gets a bonus for this finish. To be honest with you, so Vitor Petrino gets the win over Marcin Prashil. This fight, Marcel, was not my favorite fight. I'll tell you this. Until the finish, this to me was probably one of the weaker fights in the card. But the guy gets the finish. What I did like about Petrino is that he came up kind of as a knockout artist, and now you're seeing the ground game of this guy. So he's solid, man. 9-0. He's 25 years old. Yeah, there's a lot of potential here with this guy. Again, I don't rate Petrino very high, but he clearly won the fight and got the finish. That was awesome. So any thoughts, guys? Start with the Alex. Any quick thoughts on this one?
Not really. It was definitely the worst fight of the card, but I mean, if this is the worst fight of the card, then the card's pretty fucking good,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so I mean, I just don't. No, obviously no disrespect. I just don't think Marcin Prachnio is that good of a fighter. He probably might get the axe. Get cut because they're gonna start cutting some people to bring in the Dana White Contender Series fighters that are coming, and Petrino will probably fight somebody, top 25, top 30. But yeah, that's it.
Well, watch what you say, Alex, because Marcin lives in the Netherlands. So I'm just kidding now.
I'm sorry, brother.
No, not just kidding.
I'm just speaking. I'm just speaking facts.
Yeah, no problem, dude. It's like the only connection in the Netherlands we had to on this card, because he has Dutch coaches and he lives here. But yeah, man, Petrino was just better, and every shot he landed, it staggered almost Prachnio, know. And in the beginning, Prachnio was okay with his leg kicks and some of his punches, but Petrino took over like, I think 1.5 minutes in the first round, and it was all Petrino. I saw this going to 30-27, and then out of nowhere he got the finish. So yeah, good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple other fights here, guys. Cameron Simon, I mean, easy win over Terrence Mitchell. This fight shouldn't have happened. Let's be honest. Yeah. Anything, Marcel? You want any takeaways from this fight? I mean,
I had to laugh, man. I had to laugh about Cameron when he finished him. He went to the booth and he is like, "So finally a win without any points deducted." Finally a clean win.
The fight was an easy fight for him, right? I mean, and Alex said the same thing. Like, really should have been sanctioned. Like this fight. No.
Yeah, it was a pointless fight. I know several bantamweights asked for this fight. I know Javid Basharat asked for this fight. They turned him down, and they signed some guy from Alaska FC. Like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah, the guy's mid-30s. I mean, it's just I thought he's a prospect. What's
It's
up?
Adam's favorite promotion, Alaska FC.
The only good guy that came here is Jared Cannonier. All the other guys like Jordan Wright, this guy,
I give Medic still.
Carlton Minus. I guess Medic has some potential, but I
Yeah.
still love him. All right, Jesus Aguilar. I mean, what a crazy knockout! Just a massive overhand right. Dan Henderson tweeted later. He's like, "That's a great punch." So, Dan Henderson's talking about your overhand right. It's a pretty fucking good punch. How did this guy not get a bonus? I mean, like this is about as good as it gets. Alex, you were there. You saw it. I mean, wow.
Yeah, bro, violent. It was a violent knockout. It's crazy. Like I thought he was going to submit him,
Yeah.
and it is what it is, man. It was just a violent knockout, and Shannon Ross just doesn't deserve. It's not UFC caliber,
right? No.
I mean, I like Shannon Ross. He's a very, very, very nice guy, but like you got beat up on the Contender Series. You got signed because you had appendicitis and still fought with it, and then you get knocked out in 20 seconds by Rodriguez, and you get knocked out in 70 seconds. Come on.
I know. I was thinking about this. Like everyone's picking submission, right? But like, if you were Jesus, everyone would think that you're trying to get him down. He was probably like, you know what? Let me surprise him with just wing a bomb, surprise him, and especially because again, this guy had been knocked out his last 2 fights coming into this one. Looking back at it, see if True's got the odds. It was plus 700. It was funny right before the fight started, guys. Alex is like on his like, what app was it? Alex Caesars. You're like, hey, I'm going to throw like $5 on Jesus by submission. I'm like, oh, that should win. He fucking knocks out. I'm like, wow, that was the quickest you've ever lost $5 in your life. 17 seconds. Like, how does this not get a bonus? It's ridiculous. Opening up the card, Esteban Ribovic wins the decision over Cameron Kirk. Pretty good fight, actually. Not a bad fight. And yeah, I like Ribovic. Sorry, go ahead, Marcel.
He turned it around. I mean,
he was not looking good early, right? So
yeah, Kirk controlled him in the first round, and he couldn't get up, And but Kirk faded at a certain moment, He was tired. I think it was his first fight at lightweight in the UFC. He came from featherweight, I think. He looked good in the beginning, dude, but Ribovic took over, and his striking was way more sharp than Kirk's was. And I was like, dude, finish the fucking fight, because in the third round, I think Kirk ended up above him, at the end of the last 15 seconds. You never know with these judges, but thank God they were right this time, because these judges, I mean, Alex, you can do something about it. Hit them over the head. You're always there in Vegas. So just kidding. But it's I'm happy they didn't fuck this one up.
Yeah. Anyways, that's the last fight. Overall, I mean, just fucking sick card. I mean, it's just a great experience, great card. Just a few other things. We had a big fight announced this week, guys. John Jones and Stipe. I'm glad they got it done. It's finally official. I think Jones wins easily. Yeah. You think so, Marcel? I mean, I see Alex nodding. Marcel, is there any way?
I mean, that fight would have been fun 4 years ago, but
yeah.
We know that fight was going to happen. John is winning and he's retiring in New York. That's probably what's going to happen, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. Someone was asking about UFC 293, I think. Glenn was asking. It's hard to pull. Yeah. Well, I think they just announced 2 bases fighting, or 2 losses fighting Volkov, right? So yeah, I think they'll put some of these guys. I don't think Whitaker will be on the card. He's going to take time off. I think Dan Hooker. I would imagine Dan's on the card. Or no, Dan got injured. No, he got injured.
Yeah. I did hear your favorite guy was on the card, but I can't confirm. It's like Malkoun against Kizriev, so I don't know.
Yeah, Jacob Malkoun, the human blanket.
I have a feeling that like if they can't get Izzy and Duplessis, they might switch. They might make the Sydney card a fight night and make the September 16th Mexico card a pay-per-view.
Okay.
Yeah, they might do that too. I wouldn't be surprised, right? All right, we're basically about an hour. Is there anything else you want to talk about really quick? You and Marcel are going to do another short podcast just now, Alex, with breaking down the next weekend's card. I think you're going to be at that one, Alex, Holman, Moreno Silva.
Yeah, it's. I was going to say now, when you guys talk about it, I think personally, it's the worst UFC card on paper. Worst UFC card I've ever seen. It is.
Marcel, we're going to do our preview. Going to be like half an hour. I'm not spending more than that on this card. It's not that.
It's very, very.
Especially coming off this card, there's no way it's going to be even nice.
You always have like from International Fight Week to Fight Night, it's like a little bit watered down. But this is like coming from like the top of the Mount Everest to like fucking wherever in the
gutter, the fucking gutter.
Yeah,
the gutter. That's where it's going to. Like,
pretty much.
It's a very bad card, which unfortunate, but I mean,
yeah. Well, if you guys want to listen to me, Marcel, break down this really bad card, stick around. We're going to preview right after this. But yeah, I just wanted to thank Alex for coming on, recapping the amazing card, guys. Marcel, you as well. Stick around, guys. We're going to start a new podcast series today. We're going to preview UFC Vegas 77. It's a short one today. I'm in Vegas. Want to get back out there. But yeah, Alex, again, thanks, man, for joining us. Thanks, guys, for coming in. And yeah, if you guys want, stick around for the next podcast. Be here in a minute. If not, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.